Namaste. I thought I'm going to make this video and share with you some short duration videos, around 6 in number, 5 to 6 maybe, that I recently discovered, which was shot in 2007-2008. All thanks to my friend in Ireland who found them in his old files and he sent them back to me. I was able to relive that time a little bit, and it made me a little emotional. And I thought I'll share it with you all because it's good news. It's happy. It's a happy little episode of my life. In 2005, I lost my papa, and there was a period of contemplation and introspection. So I just thought at that time that I should do something worthwhile. You know, when you have a death in the family, you start thinking the purpose of life and how short life could be. So I thought maybe I could just do something that can help somebody. And it's not about me. This video is about these children. So I decided to run a school in the temple, in the Mother Goddess Temple complex in Sector 57 of Gurugram. It used to be known as Gurgaon. This school was for the poor, for the people from financially lower segments of the society. And these families were living in a village, let's say. I mean, they didn't want me to use the word slum at that time, so I wouldn't like to use that. They were living in this sort of village, and their life was very difficult because a lot of them were working as construction laborers and making all these tall skyscrapers in Gurugram. And in India at that time, the workers who were working the hardest were getting paid the poorest, which is unfortunate. So they were finding it difficult to leave their children back home in their little huts and go to work. And I said, well, I thought I'll start running this school, all with the help of the Panditjis. There were 2 or 3 Brahmin priests, Pandits, who were very supportive in letting me use the Mother Goddess Temple complex, the garden, one of the gardens where I could run my school. And then there was Gupta ji, who sort of helped initially with the, sort of setup. And then I took over and I started running the school. So it was a challenge to go and find bring these children to the school, because some families had a different mindset. Some of them were happy. It was like a babysitter for them who could look after their kids. The school was like a babysitter, more like a crèche. But the idea was that these children learn something. They could read a little bit. They could learn some, some daily adaptive skills and other skills that would help them. And some families were not happy with it. So it was a challenge to try to make them see the light at the end of the tunnel. And a lot of them changed, and I got around 15 to 25 children in our school. And we were all very happy about it. With whatever we saw, as progress made, everybody was happy about it. The families started seeing the reason why the school was there and started supporting me. I find it very difficult to say me, I, even though I was running it. I like to say we, because it was a joint effort. So it was families, children, the Panditjis, the Pandits, the Gupta ji, and the donors. So it was being run by everyone. So we decided to start the school, and the school started. There was a boy. His name was Billoo, and everybody would make fun of him, all these kids and in the village, because he could not speak, and he was considered to be speech impaired and could not and had problems with his hearing. So he was differently abled, and that was a very interesting episode. You'll see a couple of short snippets of Biddu and me. I'm hugging him and very proud of him. He was, I discovered that his grandmother said that he was able to speak and listen when he was 2 or 3. and his parents told me that, and then probing further, I found out that his grandmother had beaten him for some, in the South Asian culture, it's part of some families to hit children. And that kind of, I think, set some kind of trauma in the child's mind, and he stopped speaking. So they all decided that he was basically differently abled, and would never ever do that again. Now he came to the school, and one of the things that was happening in the school was the kids were not used to be being hugged by somebody they considered from a richer, social status or a higher caste or whatever you want to say it. And they did not, they found that very strange. And I used to do that with all the kids. It's interesting because at the same time, if within your own social status, you can do it with other children, you can hug them. But there's this disparity, this kind of between two different caste, or I would say class more than caste really, where, if they consider you to be from a higher social status, they keep distance. It's ingrained into their minds at a very young age. So they would get a hug, and some of them, I would make them sit next to me and treated them like an individual, like respected them like an individual. And there was a rule that I would never hit anybody, because I used to be beaten by my teachers when I was growing up in India. So I was like, that never helps. And I was, treating them with respect. And we were doing general sciences, we were doing art, we were doing English. English is to learn and speak good English is a big thing in India. And so it's in the society, it's important for them to function in the society better if they know English. Although I think it's as wonderful a language as Hindi is, or any native language of India is, which should be given the same importance or maybe more. But considering logical realities, I thought it would be nice if they could learn English. And they were really fun things, brushing their teeth. They'd never, ever seen a brush and a toothpaste before. Never. They used to use datun or dantan, which is actually a twig from the babul tree. It's actually Ayurvedic. It's very healthy. And they would, but I thought it's nice to introduce toothpaste and toothbrush, and I got them that, and everybody loved it. There was this great joy in the class that day, and I was teaching them. Then some parents came and complained about it and said, please don't teach our children this, because we would not be afford to buy a toothpaste and a toothbrush. These are people who work 10 to 11 hours a day, taking rocks and bricks over their head in the most primitive forms, and creating skyscrapers, luxury for others who cannot afford like little things like a toothpaste and a toothbrush. Anyway, the children got lots of stuff. They got bags, and they were learning English. And so during one of these sessions, we had the Mother Goddess Festival, 9 nights of the 9 avatars of the goddess. And I had trained the children in the sense, we had learned together how to say, what's your name? And they would say, my name is Sita. And where do you live? I live in the village. Where are you from? So they would say, name the different states they came from. We had progressed that much. So during the Mother Goddess Festival, I had the donors, the devotees. The Indian people who visit Mother Goddess temples or any temples are very full of wanting to help. They want to help, they want to donate, they want to give a lot. And we got a lot of resources from it. In fact, I had a Muslim vegetable seller who would come, who was a kid who was probably 10 years younger than me, and was running a vegetable shop, and he would come and give us vegetables and fruits for the kids. So so during this festival, these donors came, and they started saying, so the kids wanted to show off their English speaking skills. So I said, okay, what's your name? I was pointing out to the kids, and I was saying, what's your name? What's your name? And they was, my name is Sita. I live in the village behind Sector 57. I hail from Arunachal Pradesh. What's your name? My name is John. I'm from Kerala. I live in this village behind Sector 57. What's your name? My name is, Happiness. I'm from Manipur, Mizoram, and I live in the village. My name is Geeta. I'm from Madhya Pradesh and I live there. And my name is so and so. So I didn't realize that while doing that, I pointed my hand towards Billoo. Now, Billoo had never spoken till then. Never. It was 4 to 5 months, I think. And so I just said, and I thought, oh my gosh, why did I do this? Poor kid. I put him in a spot and he doesn't speak. He'll feel bad. And I felt really bad. And lo and behold, he said, my name is Biddu. He still had a little tongue thing, so he couldn't pronounce his real name. It was Billoo. He said, my name is Biddu. I'm 5 years old. I live in the village and I'm from Bihar or UP. Now everybody was shocked. They were all, it was they were like, oh my gosh, there was this rambling that went into the temple complex and village. There was, oh my gosh, Billoo has spoken, it's on the 9th night of the goddess, and so the goddess has blessed him, and he's spoken, and it was one of the most joyous occasion of my life and his life, and I hope the children's life. So it's very touching, and the parents came and they offered congratulations to Billoo and his family, and they invited me in their little house, which was the size of my dining table, and I went in and I had food with them, and sometimes they would offer me food, and I would say, now I'm sure this is all that you have for the whole day. Why are you offering it to me? Now that's the kind of warmth the poor of India have. They'll give you what is not even sufficient for them, but they'll offer it to you. Anyway, so I used that moment and I told them, Mother Goddess will always be happy with you if you treat your son or daughter or whatever gender they are with respect and love. Children deserve respect and love, and they are individuals as well. So don't just slap them, or, there's so many psychological and other things that happen to a child and it could affect them. And I use the Mother Goddess, and thank goodness for that temple and the divine good energy of the universe, which had a role in that incident. So I've spoken enough, 13 minutes. I think I would now end, and you could see those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 little snippets of my children. And there are more stories. Everybody has one story. Every child has a story. But I can say by the time I left for Ireland, of the 25, we were able to get 16 kids in the free school. There's some of them left, some of them took their children away because they said education is not going to help them. It's going to be contacts that will help them. So there were different reasons parents pulled the children out, but we were able to, whatever was, I think of all the kids that were left by the end of it, I was 16 to 17, all of them went into free school. So enjoy these 6 little snippets, and I've spoken too much, and thank you for watching. Thank you, my kids.